Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella and today we are flying by the seat of our pants and filming a TBR with no planning. Let's do it. I don't film like monthly TBRs unless there's like a readathon going on that I'm really excited for. That's usually when I do that because there are prompts to help me put together my TBR. However, I've noticed when I do an actual TBR, it gets me to read more because I have a set of books that I need to get to, and I don't have 300 books all looking at me being like, read me. It makes it easier. So I have a couple books I definitely want to read this month, and I've already been planning on reading. There's a couple readathons I want to participate in, yet I haven't managed to figure out prompts and stuff. Who knows what this is going to be like? This video could be an entire disaster, but we'll just try. For the two readathons I'm interested in participating in, one is the Medieval-a-thon. It's a month-long medieval themed readathon where you can read stuff outside of fantasy. I used to think it was only fantasy. Read stuff outside of fantasy, and the amount of books you read coincide with like your ranking, and you can read things like get your clothing and like a little pet, and it's really cute. So that's a definite possibility, and I'll have all this stuff linked down below, by the way. And then I also really want to participate in Tome Topple. It's like round 14 or something. I have some big books that I already planned on reading this month anyway, so I figured I can usually fit it in there. So you know what? Let's actually start with that. So my biggest priority this month is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is the third book in the original Mistborn trilogy. I started it in 2016, so it is high time that I complete this book. I'm so excited to see how Brandon Sanderson does a finale. That's also one of the reasons why I've been dying to pick it up, is that I'm trying to finish a bunch of series this year, and this is definitely on the docket. One of my goals this year is to read all of the Jane Austen books that I haven't read, which is 4, so that's kind of bad, but the first book I want to get to this year is Emma. If I really like it, I think I will rent the movie. I don't actually know anything about this, because why would I know anything about a classic? Other than I think Emma is like a matchmaker. I think that this is the one where she likes matching up her friends, but she doesn't do anything like for herself, or she doesn't really care for romance, I think. And I'm thinking I'm going to listen to the audiobook. This is a long book. It's 570 pages. I'm excited to finally be doing this because I've been dragging my feet on reading Jane Austen because I don't tend to love classics, but I do like Jane Austen. So it's time. This also would fit for Tome Topple as well. Another thing I'm going to be doing is starting a reread of one of my favorite series this month. So the City of Brass and Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. I love these books. Books 1 and 2 in the Daevabad trilogy. I've talked about it so many times on my channel. These are both tomes as well, so they fit for that. And I still have my Kingdom of Copper review that I have to do. I read this book in like late November, so I never got around to doing my big spoilery review like I did for City of Brass because it was like the end of the year. So I want to read this and then finish my notes and like do my big review before the final book comes out, which is June 30th, and I want to give myself ample time to do that. So if I get through these ones, like the main tomes I'm focused on, I think I'm finally going to do it. It's time to read Nevernight by Kristoff. I have been meaning to read this book, for no word of a lie, since like 2016. So many people love this series that I'm like terrified if I don't love it. I'm not sure. We shall see. This one is nerve-wracking, but it is high time that I read this. It's one of my 5-star predictions. It is high time I get to this book. So I just like walked around and grabbed a bunch of books off my shelves that seemed interesting. So I don't know how well this is going to actually do for the TBR. And apparently I want to start 500 more series, which is stupid, but welcome to my train of thought. One that I'm interested in is A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. This is an adult fantasy, like historical fantasy series. It focuses on a character who wants to like classify and study dragons, I believe, but she's not well respected, so then she like writes a memoir or something like that. That's funny. The main character and I share the same name. That hasn't happened to me since Twilight. because that's always fun. But yeah, interested in reading this, and I know for a medieval-a-thon there is some sort of prompt that you read a book with a dragon on it, so I figured I'd grab it just in case. With it being Asian Pacific Heritage Month, I grabbed a few books by some Asian authors, the first being Want by Cindy Pun. This is a young adult sci-fi dystopian novel that takes place, I believe, in a futuristic Taipei. I don't know if there's one or two perspectives in here, but it focuses on like this evil corporation and these like kids, I think, go and bring it down. I've heard really good things from people who've read Cindy Pon, and I've really wanted to read some of her stuff. And it is also one of my books I need to read in 2020, so I figured this would be a good time to do so. I also grabbed Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I'm a little nervous just because literary fiction always intimidates me, but I really enjoyed Celeste Ng's first book. There is an adaptation of this book that just was put out on Hulu, so I don't know if I can actually get it in Canada, but I'm very interested in reading this book. It's also one of my books to read in 2020, ironically, and it's by an Asian author, so this seems like a really good time to read it. Focuses, I believe, a lot on like class dynamics. I also forgot to mention that I'm already in the middle of a book. Today is May 1st when I'm filming this, and last night and a bit of today I already started reading The Right Swipe by Alicia Rai. This is an adult contemporary romance, so I'm flying through it. I'm almost 50% of the way through. So that also, I guess, is technically on the TBR, but might be finished before this video goes up. Who knows? I've also been toying with the idea of picking up A Number in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is inspired by like Rome and its brutal societies, and it is supposed to be a pretty brutal YA fantasy series. It's a quartet, and the final book is actually coming out at the very end of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So I have time to actually read the whole thing if I feel like it. And I've just been wanting to read this one for so long as well. I believe that Sabaa Tahir is also Pakistani American, so also a good one for Asian Heritage Month. The final one is a huge maybe. This is the one with the biggest question mark on it, and that's Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller. Again, I've been trying to pick up finales and close out a lot of series that I own, so this is the finale to the Daughter of the Pirate King duology. I didn't particularly love the first one, but they just read so quickly, and I already own the sequel. This book is just over 300 pages. I'll fly through it because it's just like so fast, and I really like to have another series off my list. So we'll see. This one is a maybe, but also I know I'll read it really quickly, and I think there's a prompt also for medieval-a-thon to read a shiny book, and I think this one would suffice. Apparently I have big plans for May, which is ironic because I didn't plan on doing like a crazy amount of reading in May. I was gonna let myself actually like watch some TV and catch up on some things, so we'll see. I hope you enjoyed my TBR. Let me know down in the comments below what your plans for reading in May are, what you plan to start and read. I'd love to know. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!